In the heart of Nigeria, nestled between lush forests and rolling hills, lay the small village of Umuofia. The villagers led a simple life, farming and trading to make ends meet. The village was known for its rich traditions and deep rooted beliefs in ancient customs. However, a dark secret loomed over Umuofia, a secret that had been buried for generations. Many years ago, two powerful families in the village were embroiled in a bitter feud. The Oko family and the Nwok family, both influential and wealthy, had been at odds over land and power. To put an end to the endless fighting, the village elders proposed a union between the two families. But the marriage was doomed from the start, and the couple's happiness was short lived. The wife, an Oko, died mysteriously, and her family accused the Nwok family of witchcraft. In their grief and anger, the Oko family placed a curse on the Nwok family, vowing that their lineage would suffer until justice was served. The curse stated that every pair of twins born to the Nwok family would be separated at birth, with one twin living a life of luxury and the other condemned to poverty. The curse would remain until the truth about the wife's death was revealed and the families were reconciled. Many years later, in the same village, the curse was about to unfold once more. Chinedu Nwok, a humble farmer, and his wife Amara were expecting twins. The couple was excited but also anxious as they were aware of the curse that had plagued their family for generations. When the twins were born, Chinedu and Amara were filled with joy and fear. They named their sons Chidi and Chima. Chidi was the firstborn, and Chima followed shortly after. The midwife, an elderly woman who had served the village for decades, looked at the newborns with a worried expression. She knew the curse would soon take effect. In the dead of night, a mysterious stranger arrived at the Nwok household. He claimed to be sent by the village elders to take one of the twins away. Amara wept and begged the stranger to spare her children, but the man was adamant. He took Chima, the second born, and left the village without a trace. Chidi remained with his parents, growing up in a loving but modest home. Amara and Chinedu did their best to provide for him, but they always felt the void left by Chima's absence. Chima, on the other hand, was taken to a wealthy family in the city. The Okoye family, who had no children of their own, adopted him and raised him as their own son. They named him Emeka, unaware of his true heritage. Emeka grew up in luxury, attending the best schools and living a life of privilege. However, he always felt a sense of emptiness and a longing for something he couldn't quite place. Despite his comfortable life, Emeka was kind-hearted and generous. He often volunteered at orphanages and helped those in need, much to the pride of his adoptive parents. Yet he couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing in his life. Back in Umuofia, Chidi faced many challenges. His family struggled to make ends meet, and he often had to help his father in the fields. Despite their hardships, Chidi was intelligent and determined. He excelled in school and dreamed of a better future for himself and his family. Chidi's mother, Amara, always encouraged him to pursue his dreams. She believed that education was the key to breaking the cycle of poverty. Chidi worked hard, often studying by candlelight after a long day in the fields. His teachers recognized his potential and did their best to support him. As Chidi grew older, he became more aware of the curse that haunted his family. He learned about the feud between the Oko and Nwok families and the tragic events that led to the curse. Determined to break the curse, Chidi vowed to find his lost brother and uncover the truth about their family's past. Years passed, and Chidi and Emeka grew into young men. Fate, it seemed, had plans for them. Through a series of coincidences, Emeka learned about a village called Umuofia and felt an inexplicable urge to visit it. He convinced his adoptive parents to let him go, promising to return soon. When Emeka arrived in Umuofia, he felt an immediate connection to the place. He wandered through the village, taking in the sights and sounds that seemed strangely familiar. As he walked, he came across a group of young men working in the fields. Among them was Chidi. The moment their eyes met, both young men felt an undeniable bond. Chidi approached Emeka and they introduced themselves. As they talked, they realized they shared a striking resemblance and many common traits. Intrigued, they decided to learn more about each other. Chidi brought Emeka to his home, where Amara and Chinedu welcomed him warmly. They couldn't believe their eyes when they saw the resemblance between Emeka and Chidi. Amara felt a deep connection to Emeka, as if she had known him all her life. As they shared their stories, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. Emeka revealed his real name, Chima, and the circumstances of his adoption. Amara and Chinedu were overjoyed to have their lost son back, but they knew the curse still loomed over their family. Determined to break the curse, Chidi and Chima delved into their family's history. They sought the help of the village elders, who revealed the details of the feud between the Oko and Enwok families. The twins learned about the mysterious death of their ancestor and the curse that had plagued their family for generations. With the support of their family and the village elders, Chidi and Chima decided to seek justice for their ancestor and reconcile the Oko and Enwoke families. They believed that only by uncovering the truth could they break the curse and bring peace to their family. The twins began their quest for justice by visiting the ancestral homes of the Oko and Anwoka families. They interviewed elders, pored over ancient records, and followed every lead they could find. The journey was arduous, but their determination kept them going. In the process, they uncovered shocking secrets and hidden truths about their families. They learned that their ancestors' death was not due to witchcraft, but rather a tragic accident that had been misconstrued. The feud had been fueled by misunderstandings and false accusations. Armed with this knowledge, Chidi and Chima returned to Umuofia. They called a meeting with the elders of both families and presented their findings. The truth was difficult for many to accept, but the evidence was undeniable. Slowly, the families began to see the futility of their feud and the need for reconciliation. The village elders, impressed by the twins' efforts, decided to perform a cleansing ritual to break the curse. The entire village gathered for the ceremony, which took place at the sacred grove, where the feud had begun. As the elders chanted and performed the rituals, Chidi and Chima stood side by side, their hearts filled with hope. The ritual was intense, and the atmosphere was charged with energy. When it was over, a sense of peace and relief washed over the village. The curse was finally broken. Chidi and Chima felt a weight lift off their shoulders, and their family rejoiced. The villagers celebrated the reconciliation of the Oko and Enwok families, and a new era of peace and unity began in Umuofia. With the curse lifted, Chidi and Chima focused on building a better future for their family and their village. Chidi pursued his dream of becoming a teacher, using his knowledge and skills to educate the children of Umuofia. He believed that education was the key to breaking the cycle of poverty and ignorance. Chima, on the other hand, used his connections and resources to bring development projects to the village. He worked tirelessly to improve infrastructure, healthcare, and agriculture. Together, the twins transformed Umuofia into a thriving community. Their efforts did not go unnoticed. The villagers admired their dedication and hard work, and they were seen as role models for the younger generation. Chidi and Chima's bond grew stronger with each passing day, and they were grateful for the second chance they had been given. Years later, Chidi and Chima stood side by side, watching their children play in the fields. The village of Umuofia had come a long way since the days of the feud, and the twins were proud of their achievements. Their story became a legend in the village, a tale of courage, determination, and the power of reconciliation. The Oko and Enwok families had learned to live in harmony, and the bonds of friendship and kinship were stronger than ever. Chidi and Chima knew that their legacy would live on through their children and the generations to come. They had broken the curse and brought peace to their family, and their journey had inspired others to seek justice and reconciliation in their own lives. As the sun set over Umofia, Chidi and Chima smiled, knowing that they had fulfilled their destiny. They had overcome immense challenges and had emerged stronger and more united than ever. The newfound peace in Umofia led to a wave of prosperity and development. The village, once plagued by a bitter feud, became a beacon of hope and unity for neighboring communities. Chidi and Kima's efforts had not only transformed their own village, but had also inspired others to follow their path. Thanks for watching. I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and loved ones.